For centuries, the nobility of the empire has sent its wayward or troublesome daughters to be initiated into the only order of priestesses dedicated to the empire's patron god. The Sisters of Sigmar, as they are commonly called, have traditionally traveled the empire, administering to the sick and poor, tending to the needs of orphans, curing the diseased, and mending broken bodies. Their advice is frequently sought by those about to make an important decision, for the Sisters of Sigmar are famed for their ability to predict the fickle course of fate. Though once much loved by the common people, the sisters have seen their popularity wane in recent years. Even in the countryside, they are attacked and driven away by the very peasants they seek to help. Many of Sigmar's priests wish to disband the order altogether, claiming that women have no right to teach the holy word of Sigmar. These days, the Sisters of Sigmar have retreated to their convent situated high on the craggy island of Sigmar's Rock in the river Ster in Mordheim. Of all the inhabitants of Mordheim, only the Sisters of Sigmar were prepared for its destruction. Seeress Cassandora foretold of a disaster, and at their nightly vigil, the maidens heard the voice of Sigmar speaking in their dreaming minds. When the blow finally came, the sisters gathered beneath the great temple dome of their convent. While the rest of Mordheim fell under a spell of madness, the Sisters of Sigmar offered prayer after prayer, scourging themselves to drive out all thoughts of sin. The sisters believe they have a holy mission, a task that they have been set by Sigmar himself. Their sacred duty is to gather up the shards of Weirdstone and hide it deep beneath Sigmar's Rock in the vaults of their convent, where, shielded by a great depth of solid granite and guarded by the eternal prayers of the sisterhood, it will cause no harm to Sigmar's people. The war bands of the sisterhood are led by tough matriarchs, each accompanied by a body of warrior sisters. The training and harsh discipline of the convent includes mastery of martial as well as ecclesiastic skills, for mastery of the body is but the first step towards the mastery of the soul. Their favored weapon is the Warhammer, the instrument of Sigmar, seen as his holy symbol alongside the twin-tailed comet.
Wait, these kick-ass ladies are the good guys!
My name is Leif, and I want to welcome you to my channel called Devs and Dice. Today I'm going to show you some of the steps I took to create my Sisters of Sigmar Warband for Mordheim. Now I want as many people as possible to enjoy Mordheim, so I'm going to try to guide you through how to find some good minis, share a little bit of how I assembled and painted my minis, give a few tips on a starting warband, and then show them off on the table along with some closing thoughts.
Alright, so I started of course by looking at eBay, and oh my god. I mean, these original ones go for about 200 euros, which is, I would say, north of $200. Another option would be to actually buy new miniatures, and this is the Battle Sister Squad. Now this would take a little bit of some kit bashing, but it can be done. Another option is of course to print your minis. Highland Miniatures has some nice Sisters of Sigmar, but I personally really liked the Monstrous Encounter ones. To be honest, they looked properly old school. So I bought them and I started printing them out on my Elegoo Saturn. Now, for the first time around, I used the pre-supported ones, and it actually looked like it turned out pretty good. More on that later. I used some base toppers from Victus, which printed out perfectly for the, well, models that I felt printed out good. Now, as you can probably hear in my voice, it wasn't a smooth ride. I'm gonna show you in a little bit what happened. Once I had the models done, I primed them using some Vallejo black primer and zenithal them with white ink. Here you can see some of the finished miniatures. Now I'm going to be totally transparent here and say the ones that I printed in this video are not these ones. I mean, those are the ones. It looked like it was a complete successful print, and it partially was, but the supports were quite rigid, and sometimes parts didn't even print out. So obviously I have some improvements to do when it comes to my 3D printer or my exposure settings or something like that. So this was actually quite daunting, but regardless, I got just enough to start painting my warband. And as you can see, I focused primarily on the face, and this is so that I really don't want to paint everything around the face and then screw up the face in one way or another. And then I basically color coded my sisters. You have the heroes, which have red cloaks, and the henchmen will have yellow ones, and the ogre will have white. Now, when it came to actually buying my starting warband, we have some rules regarding how many of the different kinds we can have as per usual, and some experience. And here you can see some of the special skills that are quite interesting for Sisters of Sigmar. And as you see, no shooting skills, so melee it is. One of the cool things is that these sisters can have Sigmarite warhammers, but if I remember correctly, only the matriarch and the sister superiors can have 2. All other troops can have a maximum of 1, which was entirely okay. To me, the math added up to 493 gold coins. And as you can see, I used a name generator, and the reason why I did that was because I actually wanted to make each and every unit a unique unit, because I want to maximize my chances that I get the Lad's Got Talent and convert one of my henchmen to a hero. Now, one of the last things left to do is to roll for what spell I will get for my matriarch. A 3 Soulfire. Oh wow, this one seems to be quite an impressive spell, which you can see by the difficulty of a 9. Chaos Followers and Undead Beware. My Sisters of Sigmar are ready. Now, this was one of those moments that I really longed for, because the process of having constant print failures was quite demoralizing. But finally I was there. It was time to assemble my Mordheim board, pick out some of the terrain that I have created over these videos, and enjoy my Sisters of Sigmar on my own personal Mordheim board. I want to thank everyone who is commenting and showing their support for the channel. Especially these past weeks have been quite excruciating from a creative standpoint. Lots of work to do and very little time to hobby, and then these printing failures. I also want to extend a thank you to my patrons for their support, and a special shout out goes to my champion and legend level patrons: Andreas Winberg, Bo Ahlgren, Erik Ortman, Juan Marconesa, Lawrence Davis, Madners, Magnus Solberg, Light Kira 25, Leander, Niklas Svedenlind, and Oliver Grandlund. Thank you so much, guys. You are amazing. Now, I have to say, I am really psyched about playing these Sisters of Sigmar. I am actually going to play them this coming Monday against some friends at my friendly local game store. So we'll see what these ladies can do on the battlefield. But I'm hoping for a serious ass-kicking delivery to my friends, especially if my friend, who I think might be playing Cult of the Possessed, that would be a nice matchup to see if these believers of Sigmar can strike some righteous fury into the hearts of the chaotic infidels. That's it for me. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my videos, then YouTube recommends that you should be watching these. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.